Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to talk about some of my favorites because I realized that I have not done a monthly favorites video or any other type of favorites video since my 2022 yearly roundup, which is frankly unacceptable. So because we are mid-March, it's a little bit too late to do a February favorites and a little bit too early to do March favorites. So I decided instead to just do a roundup of my favorite products over the last month and a half. I've got a bunch of makeup products. I also have some other beauty related items, and I'm not wearing any makeup because I'm going to be putting it all on my face so you guys can actually see what it looks like. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. Let me know all of your thoughts on all the products that I'm going to be talking about today. Let me know what you've been loving lately. I would love to hear. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy favorites videos and videos like these, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I think that's all I gotta say. Let's get into it. So I'm gonna start off with a skincare favorite. This is the Kosas Plump and Juicy Vegan Collagen Spray-On Serum. Now I know I'm not the only one who feels this way, but whenever a makeup brand releases any type of skincare product, I'm always very hesitant to try it. There's not even really a big reason as to why I feel that way, but for whatever reason, I just don't fully trust that they're going to be as good as a brand that solely focuses on skincare. Always pleasantly surprised when the products prove me wrong. Now I don't use this in my skincare routine, but I do use this before applying my makeup because it is amazing for prepping the skin. I find that it really makes my skin super hydrated without being greasy, and it's just the perfect skincare base for my foundation. So the serum is supposed to hydrate the skin, plump it up. It's also supposed to be soothing, and I love the fact that it's in a spray, so it's really easy to apply. I don't need to dip my fingers into anything. And the mist on this is so fine that it just goes on my entire face. I don't need to spread it around with my fingers so that I get an even amount of coverage. So my fingers never have to touch my face. The foundation that I've been loving the most lately has definitely been the Makeup by Mario foundation. This is another product that going into it, I didn't expect that I would like it purely because this product is known for having shimmer in it. And you could actually see it when you look at the product in the bottle. I definitely do not like visible shimmer in my makeup unless it's on my blush or on my eyes. So I was a little bit worried that I would give off Edward Cullen vibes with this foundation, but I've actually found that I don't find that it makes my skin look shimmery at all. I don't even really notice any shimmer when I wear this. All I notice is a really beautiful glow. I'm gonna put it on while I talk about it because I feel like I could talk so much while just holding the product up and not actually putting it on. So I'm gonna put just one pump of this foundation on my entire face with a sponge. And the shade that I use, which matches me perfectly, by the way, is 8N. So why do I like this foundation? First of all, coverage is fantastic. This has, I would say, a pretty full coverage finish. You're gonna see this one pump is going to be able to completely blank out my entire face, but it's a very natural looking full coverage, so you're not going to get a cakey look. I've had multiple 10+ hour days wearing this foundation, and from morning to night, my skin just looks awesome. And every single time I catch my face in the mirror, I always notice my skin. I'm like, oh, my skin is looking really, really good right now. The finish, I mean, the finish is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, there is shimmer in here. Technically, you can see it, but from what I've noticed, it simply just translates to be like a nice natural looking glow. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. I do have very dry skin and I love a glowy foundation, so that's something that I actually look for in most of my foundations, and I love it. The one thing I will say is when I first started using this product, I actually wasn't the biggest fan because I did feel like it looked a little bit heavy on my face. I felt like it was settling in my smile lines. It was kind of accumulating in the creases of my nose, and that was because I was just using way too much product. You really do not need a lot of product with this stuff. As you saw, one pump with this sponge, which also soaks up some of the product, covers my entire face. So a little bit really does go a long way. I do find that when I over apply it, it does start to look heavy, so just keep that in mind. I feel like Makeup by Mario is kind of just killing it with so many of their products. I've really become such a huge fan of the brand over the last year or so. I almost feel like every product that I use instantly becomes a favorite of mine. So I love this, and I hope they come out with a concealer soon because I have a feeling that would probably be pretty amazing too. For concealer, this is yet again another product that I did not expect that I would love as much as I do because it's pretty much the exact opposite of the type of concealer that I usually go for, which is light coverage, natural looking, and almost barely there. And this is matte, full coverage, and gives you more of that like flawless effect. So it's definitely not a barely there concealer at all. What I really like about this is that it really does make my under eyes look really smooth, really flawless. I don't need a lot of product because it is so high coverage. I can use the smallest amount and I'm able to get a pretty high impact look so it doesn't look heavy. And even though it's matte, I don't find that it looks drying or cakey. I actually find that the matte aspect to this works in its favor because I don't necessarily have to go in with the powder to set it. I find that it kind of self-sets. So the shade that I'm using is Vanilla Swirl 31B, which is my favorite shade. I actually have a couple shades from this line, and this is my preferred one because it's pretty neutral and it's light without being too light. I find it really, really hard to find matte concealers that don't completely accentuate every single line underneath the eye, and that's actually flattering. And this one is it. And the combo of these two are perfection. Let's talk powder. And I know I just said that you don't really need powder with this concealer. And I actually don't find that you necessarily need powder with this foundation too. It doesn't really stay tacky. I don't find it moves around. But this is a powder that you kind of want to use because it just makes your skin look so good. This is a newer one from NARS. It's the Soft Matte Advanced Perfecting Powder. And this one is in the shade Cove, which is actually a pretty light shade, but I like that because it brightens quite a bit. And this powder is probably one of the smoothest powders I've ever felt. When you touch this, it feels so soft and buttery, it almost feels like a cream. To me, a really soft and buttery powder will most of the time always work really well with my dry skin because I find that that type of texture will not typically cling to my dry patches. And so this has been magical for my skin. It is so beautiful. And the packaging, I'm sorry, have you ever seen a thinner powder? You may be asking, Jamie, but does that smaller compact mean that you get less product? Not necessarily. This has 9 grams of product, and for example, the Cloud Set has 9.5 grams of product. So it has just a little bit more, but it's not a huge, huge difference, and look at the difference in that packaging. Wild. Even though it is really smooth, it does have quite a bit of kickback, so when I put my brush into the powder, a lot of powder comes up, so you just want to be careful with that and definitely tap off the excess. I'm just going to dust some on my cheeks, under eyes, and the center of my face. Does this take over my love for the Kosas Cloud Set? No, but this is definitely another powder that I am adding to my roster of powders that I actually like. It also does such a nice job of blurring pores. It's really beautiful. For bronzer, this is a little bit on the newer side. This is the Tower 28 Sculptino bronzer in the shade Getty. And I am so happy that Tower 28 finally came out with a completely matte cream bronzer because the Bronzino, while it's a pretty product, it's just not always my cup of tea. And I love the Tower 28 cream formula. They're just so easy to work with, so easy to blend. And I was just patiently waiting for this to come into my life, and it really did not disappoint. All Tower 28 creams, this applies so seamlessly, especially when applied with a sponge. I find it so easy to create really soft layers with it so that you're getting a really nice diffused bronzer effect. It never looks too intense. Color is a little bit more of like a personal note, but it is just absolutely perfect. It's like the perfect bronzer shade for my skin tone. Pretty neutral, doesn't lean too red or orange or have any weird undertones. And you see how I'm just like haphazardly applying this all over my face? I'm literally not even looking in a mirror right now. I am looking in the viewfinder of my camera and I don't have my glasses on, so I can barely even see myself. And that's how much I trust this bronzer. When applied with a sponge, it just always, always, always looks blended, diffused. It always looks good and I never really have to worry about it. And I just love the very natural effect that it always gives my skin. So I'm trusting this with my life right now. For blush, there have been 2 in particular that I've been wearing the most lately. We have the Rare Beauty liquid blush in the shade Hope, and then this Gucci blush in the shade Warm Berry, which looks like this. Both very, very different blushes. I am going to put both of them on though, so you can see what they look like because they actually do pair really beautifully together. Shade Hope is probably my favorite shade that I've tried, at least from the Rare Beauty line. It is the perfect, perfect, perfect pink. It's like the most beautiful warm pink. I actually find it's one of the few shades that I don't really have to worry too much about applying too much because we all know that the Rare Beauty blushes are highly pigmented and you need a very, very, very small amount. And normally I'm a little bit nervous to apply it even directly to my skin like I just did. But for some reason, this shade is very forgiving and you don't really need to be too careful with the amount that you apply. I actually love applying this when I'm not wearing a lot of makeup. I find it adds like the perfect amount of color to my face. Oh my God, it's just like the most beautiful pink. Look at this. The Gucci blush is obviously very different. This is a deep berry shade. It's also powder, so it's a completely different formula. This is one of those blushes though that will instantly just completely liven up your entire face. It's actually one of my favorite blushes to wear when I'm not wearing a lot of makeup and when I have some redness already peeking through, because it's a very similar color as to what my cheeks become when they become a little bit red, and almost enhancing that redness just a little bit and making it look a little bit more intentional, so to speak, I find is just like such a pretty look. So I'm just gonna take a little bit on a fluffy brush. This is the Sigma 60, and I'm just gonna put some on the apples of my cheeks. Oh, okay. A little bit intense for sure, but we just need to dab it out with, with the sponge. And there you have it, okay. Slightly more blended. We're definitely going for a very blushy look today, but I'm cool with that. And like I said, these two combined, it's kind of like a secret formula. Okay, face is pretty much done now. Let's move on to the eyes. I very randomly started using this Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in the shade Pillow Talk. I had this in my vanity for a really long time and I never really touched it. And then one day I just took it out, slapped it on my lid, and ever since that day, I've basically been wearing it almost every single day as like my day-to-day eye look. It's such a subtle, slightly shimmery pink color. It's very, very like natural and simple. So if you've never seen the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize, they are moussey creams. So they come in this little pot and they can be a little bit tricky to apply. I don't really like to apply with my finger because then I find that I apply way too much. And so I'll typically go in with a fluffy brush and I'll just pick up a little bit of the product. And then I will pat the color on the lid. And I'll do it for both sides. And once there's very little product on the brush, then I'll start to blend it out. It is such a light color. You really don't have to be too careful with it. You could kind of just be a little bit haphazard, which is nice. So after applying the majority, I'm just kind of buffing it out just so it's not harsh. And then sometimes I'll throw a matte eyeshadow in the crease if I feel like it, but a lot of the times I'll just leave it like this. And you see how it just adds this like nice pink glow to the eyes, especially when you're going for a really blushy look. I find it just complements really nicely. This eyeliner from Makeup by Mario has also been my favorite way to wear a wing lately. This is the Master Pigment Pro Pencil in the shade The Perfect Brown. This really is the perfect brown eyeliner. Lately, I've kind of been steering away from harsher black liquid eyeliners, and instead I've been really enjoying a softer, smokier wing in a brown color. So I basically just make a little line right on the outer corner of my lash line. And before it sets down, I take a small little brush and I just start to smoke it out a little bit. I kind of just go over it a couple times just to smooth everything out, make it nice and soft, and then I'll just start to pull out the color just a little bit to create a wing shape. And then before it completely sets down, I'll take my finger, run along the edge, and it sharpens it up completely. Another eyeliner that I've been really enjoying is this Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade Infinite Sand. It is the perfect nude color. I like this because it's really not stark. I find white to be a little bit too intense on my waterline. It just does not look great on me. And the nude is so much more natural looking, but it still brightens up the eyes. Like when you look at me, it doesn't look like I'm wearing a nude eyeliner. My eyes just look open and bright. See that difference? It is so good. For my mascara, I'm gonna apply the Tower 28 Make Waves. This has definitely still been my top favorite mascara, but this is not news. I've been talking about it a ton over the last couple of months. Last but not least, for makeup, these are the 4 lip products that I've been loving the most. So I'm gonna swatch all of them so you guys can actually see what they look like. This is MAC, Thanks It's MAC. That is literally the name of the lipstick. And this is the most perfect Your Lips Are Better everyday nude that leans a little bit more pink. I'm gonna show you what it looks like completely on its own without liner. I mean, was that description not absolutely perfect for this lip color? I mean, need I say more? It is the perfect everyday nude. When I want just clear gloss and nothing else, I've been using the NYX Fat Oil Lip Drip, and this is in the shade My Main. It's literally just clear. It smells amazing. Kind of smells like watermelon. The texture of this is very similar to the Dior lip oils or the Clarins lip oils. It just provides a lot of gloss. It feels really awesome on the lips. And I'll even pair this with lip liners if I want to add a little bit of extra something to it, but it just adds so much shine. It's really, really beautiful. Another Rare Beauty product. This is the lip cream in the shade Elevate. I love the Rare Beauty lip cream so much. They're one of the very few completely matte liquid lipsticks that I actually enjoy going to because they don't feel terrible on the lips. They're actually very, very, very comfortable, and they just feel kind of like nothing, which is hard to find. But this color is really stunning. It's a beautiful kind of mid-tone brownie nude. My favorite way to wear this is with a lip liner that's a little bit deeper, and it gives you that really nice kind of 90s lip vibe. Last but not least, this is probably my newest favorite. This is the iconic London Melting Touch Lip Balm in the shade Love Language. You know what? Actually very similar to the MAC Thanks It's MAC lipstick, but it's just glossier. Actually, love this formula so much. Very similar to the M Cosmetics lip luminizers. It's kind of a hybrid between a lipstick, lip balm, and lip gloss. So it has the pigment of a lipstick, but it's shiny like a lip gloss, but it also feels balmy and kind of hydrating at the same time. All right, this is the finished look. That is it for all of my favorite makeup products. Now let's dive into some of my other favorite beauty products. I don't have a ton, but these were the ones that have really stood out to me lately. This is a little bit random, but it's a bath product from the brand Bathorium. I take a bath pretty much every single day. It's part of my nightly ritual. I almost cannot go a day without taking a bath, and I love enhancing my baths in any which way I'm able to. And a really great way to enhance your bath is to add a bath soak. Some bath soaks will just smell really beautiful and kind of give you this spa-like experience. Some are actually hydrating. Some have like different types of salts in them, which are really good for your skin. And I really love this brand, which is called Bathorium, and they have a bunch of these different sachets, and I get a couple at a time, and you basically dump the entire sachet into your bath, and it just transforms your bath into a really beautiful, very spa-like experience. So this one in particular is the Eucalyptus Apothecary. So this one has Epsom salt, Dead Sea salt, coconut oil, aloe butter, eucalyptus oil, peppermint oil, and a bunch of different things in here. So I haven't used this one yet, but I can almost guarantee that it's going to smell amazing, and it's also going to have some great benefits for the skin as well. So I definitely recommend checking these out if you also really enjoy taking baths and you want something to spice it up. Next, I have two products here from L'Occitane. This is the almond hand cream, and this is by far one of my favorite hand creams. I keep this in my purse. I use it multiple times a day. Not that I even really need it multiple times a day, because this stuff is very effective and it really does hydrate the hands deeply. Like, you know those hand creams that you put on that feel really good in the moment, but then 20 minutes later it's like you didn't even apply it at all? Not the case for this guy. This really does get the job done, but I apply this multiple times a day because it's just such a beautiful product to apply. It smells incredible. The scent of this is so delicious and it feels really great. It also soaks into the skin very quickly, which is one of my pet peeves because I always apply hand cream when I'm driving, and I hate it when my hand cream gets all over my steering wheel. So if you're looking for a great hand cream, this is a must. And then this over here is the Supple Skin Oil. This is a body oil that I apply either on its own after getting out of the shower, or I actually like to sometimes make a cocktail with my body cream. So I'll put some of the body cream in the palm of my hand, and then I'll spray this, because it is a spray, into the body cream, massage it all together. It will boost the hydration of the body cream by like 10 times, and it makes my skin feel absolutely amazing. Or I'll just use it on its own and it will make my skin feel absolutely amazing. And I love that it's in a spray, so it's just really easy just to spritz it all over my body. And using this just always feels like such a luxe experience. I love it. I have one more product to talk about, and it's for my hair. This is the Orbe Royal Blowout Heat Styling Spray. I will spray a pretty generous amount of this product in my hair when it's damp before blow drying it. And this makes my hair silky, silky, silky smooth and super shiny. I have really curly hair, so it's naturally very dry. So I find it sometimes hard for my hair to actually look shiny because it is just naturally a drier texture. And this changes that completely. It makes my hair look amazing. And that is it, guys. Those are all of my favorite beauty products as of late. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below, and hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.